Good evening and welcome along to another episode of our Dundee United story here from FM21. Thank you to those of you waiting already. Lovely to see a few of you in before we start. If you're looking forward to this one or you are new along, please do put a thumbs up on it. Come and get involved in the chat. Let us know who your team's playing this evening. Lots of fixtures across the EFL. And fingers crossed, we'll be able to get some results here with Dundee United. It doesn't look promising based on the games. Rangers, Celtic, high-flying Motherwell away. I think Ayre's the only one we'd fancy our chances. But even then, I'm not entirely confident. We worked very hard last episode to get back up to third. Hamilton have taken that spot, but we're 2 points behind with 2 games in hand. Unfortunately, one of those games in hand is Celtic, so I can't see that going too well. And the other one is today against Rangers, which I can't see going well. So I can't see many points out of this. I can't see much excitement, but hopefully there'll be some positives in terms of results. Dylan, thanks for popping in. Wigan v Blackpool tonight. Wigan have just lost another player, if I remember rightly. He's gone off to, I can't remember where it was, somewhere in League 2. Oldham, I think. Imagine if my mate is on the bench. Probably too soon for that, but he'll definitely be in an involved training with the squad, like you say. And it's a matter of time if the attitude's right. So that's the positive. I'm just looking to see who Blackpool I've got, actually. Because didn't you say he was a striker? I just wanted to see what Blackpool have got in terms of strike force. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Fun way to start, either way. Of course, it's a slim chance at the moment, but those things will change in time. Thank you to all of those popping in, chucking in the thumbs up, of course. It is much appreciated. So first team squad strikers. Oh, Jerry Yates there. I didn't know that. Oh, you got Keshi Anderson. He went to our school. Gary Medine, good experienced striker. I tell you what, to be training in that first team, he's doing well. Oh, they've just signed Kevin Stewart. I didn't realise that. He was on a free. We signed him at... Who was it we got signed for? Was it Dundee he got signed at? Yeah, some good strikers there, but it's not a huge amount in the squad, so I kind of get it. Charlie Jolly went to Tranmere. That's the one. L Gaming, good evening. Welcome along. Thank you for popping in. Lovely to see you all here already. It does make such a difference. It's a nice confidence boost seeing a few people waiting there to start. I'll apologise in advance if I'm all over the place tonight, because it's 2 Tuesdays in a row I haven't had my day off, so I'm a bit behind on recordings and editing, and unfortunately I've been doing interviews and talking all day, so I won't be at my prime best, I'm supposing. But thank you for coming joining me nonetheless. I think there's Premier League football at 6 and 8. I've recorded them all, so we'll see which ones to watch after. But we start today with Rangers. We've played one game off camera, which was against St Mirren, as we said. Another draw, another interesting one. A great goal at the start, a great goal at the end, Shankland flying, and 2 silly ones conceded in between. It's becoming a bit of a story of the season. We've just got to find a way of sneaking third, because if not, we will be getting the sack. We know that. And I'd much like to avoid that if it's possible. So we're almost at double figures already. I can't thank you enough for your support. But let's have a look at the lineup for today. I think this is our best 18. I'm not sure in terms of the wingers. Maybe Duffy in for Sporrell. Is that something we want to consider? I don't know. Sporrell's a bit more defensive, but Duffy's got a bit more talent. So I'm going to go Duffy and Byrne on the wings. The deadly Irish duo are there. The first choice is pretty much as you'd expect. Everyone's got a light match load. It's Siegrist, Matheson, Mengi, Finley and Mitchell the back 5. Byrne and Duffy the wingers with Mallon and O'Reilly in the middle. And Shankland and McNulty up top. It's the start of a horrific run for us this month as we head towards the mid-season split. And then we'll largely be playing the same teams again. So let's get into the first of the day. And hopefully we'll get a pleasant surprise. Yeah, okay, I mean, I know that was going to be one of the big stories. Frank Lampard getting sacked. Unfortunately, Chelsea and patience just don't go together. They just don't. I sort of said it in the Discord, really, which is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer earlier in the season came through a worse run. Arteta's come through a worse run. I know Arsenal are starting to look a bit better now. Mourinho came through a dodgy run. They're coming back up. Pep Guardiola at City, they started awfully. They didn't win the title last year. They started poorly. They're coming back up and look like they're going to win it now. So I just don't really get it, to be honest. I sort of wasn't surprised because it was Chelsea. They weren't hugely convincing against our Luton side, despite us not being at our best. But I don't know what you expect when you have a team of basically youth academy youngsters, signed 6 players from abroad who haven't experienced the Premier League. You can't expect it to happen overnight. So, you know, they flew through in the Champions League. They look brilliant there. They're 3 games from the final of the FA Cup now. It's just a bit weird. It's a bit of a shame, to be honest. But time isn't given to managers anymore, and that's why so many are dropping out of it. This touchline tablet. Do you guys have this as well? Every time it just moves across. It does my head in. The only thing that annoys me, and if that's a little thing, I guess it's not a problem, but still, it does annoy me. Thank you all for your company this evening as well. Lovely to see so many of you in. Yeah, we all knew it was going to be Tuchel from the start. It will have been sorted before Lampard was gone. They wouldn't be that silly. But, you know, Tuchel's flattered to deceived at times. He just got sacked from PSG. It's a long ball over the top. McKenna heads away. Mallon picks it up for O'Reilly and now McNulty. Nice football in there. Out to Duffy on the left. We look quite good early on here. Rangers defending. Duffy can't get the cross in. And this is where they counter and score, isn't it? After all of that talk, this is what happens. Straight from the other ends. And it's going to be 1-0. No. Good save, Siegrist. But after talking about how well we've played, to play like that straight after, a little bit of a concern. And Rangers top, of course, as well. As McNulty tries to flick on. Mallon gets there as it's headed away. Finds O'Reilly. It's good football early on here. Over towards McNulty. Just over hit. And unfortunately, that's dealt with a bit easy. Aston Villa just signed Morgan Sampson from Marseille. Good signing on paper. You never know how they're going to react, though. As we said, they're not going to be an immediate fix coming over to England. But I guess for Villa, they're starting to build for the future, aren't they? They've got a good first team. There's no pressure on him to come in and be an immediate success. So, another good signing. They've recruited a lot better this year, in fairness to them. I don't write the new manager. I think he did a decent job at Dortmund, but they're a bit old school. They're a very patient club. They give you time. They give you an opportunity. There's a very less intense footballing structure in terms of interference. There's a lot of trust in the process, and it's a very set path. Now, Tuchel will suit that at Chelsea, but if he has a poor half a year, will he just be sacked again? And eventually, you'll get to a manager who will get rid of them all, and we'll be back to square one again. So, I don't know. It just all whiffs a bit, but I'm not surprised as Rangers go ahead already. Ravenite, Abramovich should have just cut the faff and replaced Frank with Tuchel at the beginning of the season. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know Tuchel was still at PSG at the time, but they would have let him go. They weren't delighted with him. So I don't really understand it. It just seems a little bit premature, to be honest. There was no harm in giving Lampard the season for me, but what am I to say? They wouldn't have expected top 4 last year and they got it. Tom, how's Odegaard rated on FM? I'm not sure now. The first one he was on a few years ago, he was absolutely sublime. But it sort of got toned down as he started to struggle at Madrid. So let's have a look at him. Odegaard. He's at Real Madrid again here. Oh, he's very good. World-class midfielder there. So he would stand out as your best player based on this. And there's no Arsenal player that good in the team. The other one I wanted to look up was Morgan Sampson, wasn't it? Gonna have to put the old name in. Can't cheat there. Oh, he's not even in the game because I've only got the British leagues loaded. 1-0 down to Rangers at half-time, though. Not been a disastrous performance, but doesn't look like being good. I'm surprised by that Odegaard one. It was only last year or the year before. He got docked a bit and he was sort of toned down from Wonder Kid to elsewhere. He was on a BTA. He looks stunning there. Don't forget we're 18 months in, though. So if he's had 18 good months, we're a year in the future to what we are now in real life. And he could well have had a year and a half of brilliant football. And if he has, he's going to develop quickly. So probably not that good at the moment. Potential's there, though. As Burn picks it up in the middle. Time on the ball to go wide. And he's taking on the fullback here. He's not winning the leg race, but he's got the skill. He's got the tricks. And Mallon finds Shankland. Back to Mallon again. Oh, he slipped in. Who's the keeper there? Who on earth is that? Farinez has done us an absolute treat there. Stevie Mallon with a bit of a pop shot from 35 yards. Straight at the goalkeeper. And he's 1-1. Oscar Burr, I recognise that name from Wolves. Has he joined them permanently? He has. Good solid fullback. But the fact we're competing with Rangers here, it could be a bonus point. Because we didn't expect to be this close to them. And we are going to have to start beating some of these top teams. It looks like top 4's wrapped up. But without third, we're sacked, as we said. And we've just conceded again, have we? Off the post, off the man on the line, off the keeper and wide for a corner. I cannot explain to you how that stayed out. As Hadji puts an in-swinger in, Bernardo heads in, and this time it doesn't stay out. Oh, the set pieces again. How are Wrexham doing in the National League North in here? We'll have a look after this game, actually. But with 20 to go, let's go and make some changes. We're going to get Luke Bolton back on after injury problems. He'll replace Byrne. O'Reilly in the middle will be replaced by Ray or Fuchs. Let's go for Glenn Ray. And then the other one's right back, really. In fact, you know what? I'll put Bolton right back. Or should I put Fuchs there? No, I'll put Bolton right back. We'll put Duffy to the right wing and Sporrell over to the left. We've just got to have a go at it. We've not been too bad in this game. We've competed, just not quite as well. And let's be honest, the goal was very lucky. So we're going to go positive. 10 minutes to go. A chance to get forward. But Rangers are playing like champions. They're clinging on. They're sticking defensively solid. And bar that one error from the keeper, they've dug themselves out of jail here. As the through ball straight to Siegrist. Does well to deal with it. Don't forget, we've got Shankland in good scoring form. So if we can get the ball up to him, we might have a chance yet. As it's on towards Sporrell. Flicks it on. McNulty chases. The keeper gets there first. I thought they were about to have a disaster back there. And Daphne, of course, he's not on the bench. You would have told me. You would have thought, well, to be fair, he might not find out to the coach. You never know. Some of these players, they don't find out until an hour and a half before kickoff. Just depends what the manager's like. We've had a couple of managers on the podcast, and some have said we used to do it the day before as well. Some have said we only do it a couple of hours before kickoff. Tom hopefully is as good as in real life. You can never tell, can you? It's adapting to a new league. It doesn't happen immediately. L Gaming fan page still doing all right. Good to hear. Really delighted with that. I've got to say the podcast as well. I think it was Sunday or last. I think it was last Tuesday where I said we were pushing towards 800 and we were hoping to get over the line. We're now up to 814. So the chase to 1,000 is very much on. We're hoping we can get there before May. We're hoping that we'll be able to then start to really progress things and try and make it a bit of a job for us. We've already talked about doing something particularly special with the Northern Irish League next year, doing predictions like we do with the Championship. We'd love to do League 1 and 2 as well. A few have asked, but unfortunately it requires us to have that as a job to do that, and we're not at that stage. Didn't he would have had to travel with the team though. Is it home or away? Is it away? Oh yeah, in which case, yes. Yeah, he'd know if he was in the travelling squad, just not if he was in the match squad. I can't remember who's in charge at Blackpool now, actually. I'm going to have to go and have a look. Blackpool. Oh, it's Neil Critchley still, isn't it? How are they doing in the league? 16th place. Oh, well, they're the joint second lowest scorers, so I can see why they're looking for striking solutions. Northampton with 20, and then them and Shrewsbury with 21 each. So that makes sense to an extent. Oh, I didn't realise there's such early kickoffs in some of the games. Oh yeah, because you're a Wigan fan, aren't you? That would have been hilarious for you if he'd come on and scored the winner. I'm sure that would have tickled you. Let's have a look at the reserve, shall we? We've not got a game till the 12th, I don't think. In which case, let's get the youngsters on there. There's no harm in doing that. The four of them, as we've said before, we can't halt their development. Logan Chalmers isn't in the squad. He can go there. Bolton needs fitness. We'll give him an hour. It's a friendly, so Eastwood can play, Pearson can play, and Davis can play, and then Ray can do 45. Try and get everyone up to speed. Try and get everyone to fitness. You said let's have a look at Wrexham as well, didn't you? They were up in 3rd or 4th. They're 2nd now. They are, title race is on. 7 points behind with 10 games to go now because the league has expanded. Fylde, they must just be starting to drop off because they were much further clear last time, weren't they? Fylde beat York last time out. Before that, drew at Spennymoor. Before that, where are they? Beat Brackley. So it's not much of a tail off. Only a very slight one. But yeah, still in the title race, so it could be an interesting one at the end. Sibley, superb to win England the game, yeah. And Joe Root's had a good series as well. Carl, good evening. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Just started a Swedish save and got relegated playing Pulis ball. Doesn't work forever. It always goes wrong at one club. Wrexham on at 7. I'll have to have a look, because I know Luton aren't in action tonight, and I'll only be able to watch the Premier League games, because I don't have Sky, but let's see what we can get up. I'm having to use a different browser, so all of the sites we're going for, we've got to find. A boring detail you didn't need to know, but just in case you wonder why everything's taking me 10 minutes. So, aside from the Premier League, I was going to watch Bournemouth v Crawley, that's on the red button. 2 championship games, which we've done our predictions on. And there you go, old gaming. You've got 75 minutes to get your predictions in for the championship. I'll be finished half an hour before. You can sneak them in after that. There's basically a full programme in League 1. I didn't realise it was full programme there. And League 2, that's frustrating, isn't it? A few of the rearranged games due to the COVID outbreak. And then there's 3 postponed, 2 for a frozen pitch, 1 for a waterlogged. You couldn't write it. Dundee v Ayers off in Scotland, frozen pitch. Oh, it's full National League as well. Stockport's first game after Jim Gannon, I think. Going to be very interesting. It's gone very quiet at the club since then. We just thought it was a bit rude for them not to be honest with the fans, to be honest. Thank you for everyone coming in as well. Lovely to see you all here. We're getting towards the Motherwell game. We are hopefully going to be able to pick up another result on the road. But, I mean, it's a pretty dire run, isn't it? Motherwell away, Celtic away, Ayr at home, then the international break before Aberdeen away, which we'll play off camera. And then, after the league split, we'll be back on Sunday for the last games of the season. So I'm trying to make sure that as a maximum, we're doing 10 episodes per season. But I do worry a little bit about the European implications next year, if we're in it for a bit longer. Oh, Carl, that's a good question. Kebab or chippy? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm always... It depends what type of kebab. If we're going proper Mediterranean grill, I'd go for that. If it's just a cheap one, I mean, I'd probably still go for that, to be honest. I don't know why I went for that point. I'd probably do the same regardless. Where's Craig? Not sure, actually. I think he was working, so... Could be late. Same for Charlie. Charlie was just doing an interview with Craig Rocastle. It's a good footballer. Played for the likes of Sheffield Wednesday. I think he's still playing now, but there's some really interesting points in his career. He was a Granada international. He's retired now. He played over in the MLS. He played in the EFL for loads of clubs, so 30 times for Sheffield Wednesday. He played for Hibs. Came through at Chelsea. Came for at QPR. Played for Port Vale, Oldham. He's played in some cracking places. Played in Greece as well. I'm really looking forward to that one. I should be listening and editing it soon. But yeah, an absolutely brilliant one for us to be able to talk about. I spoke to a Stockport fan through my fan page. He was shocked. Said he was well liked Stockport. Yeah, absolutely. He's absolutely right about that. I didn't realise their game was off. He's an absolute hero there. Been involved in loads of the community stuff. Such a popular man. Did a brilliant job. And the fact that the statement was just club, we want to change the culture, but there was no expansion on that. Just sold the fans a bit short. Ashley Williams retired. Yeah, he was a good player though. That 2016 Euros, he was brilliant. We tried to sign him in the Wigan beta save, didn't we? And he wouldn't join us. Couple of contracts signed, director of football, one of them, a key figure as we move forward. And I just had a message about keeping loanies there. So let's try and get Mark McNulty again. Nope, they're not having it. In fact, should we just send it? Because last time they then accepted it. Ted and Mengi. He is... Yeah, we'll do that again. When does it end though? The loan will end on 31st of May 2023. Alright, that's better. We've also got Luke Matheson, who's been okay. In fact, his rating's nearly a 7 now. We've got to be fair to him. They want a bit more money, though, so we'll consider it. The other one's Tyreek Mitchell's been a star. I'm not going to do the same with Davis, because he's not been that great for us. Oh, although Palace have just changed that, so let's give that a go. And if not, Davis might become first choice next year. In which case, we'll get him on board later. They only want 975 quid as well, which is what makes such a difference for us. We can't afford to lose all of them. But the other two haven't been accepted yet, so we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. Tom, 8 years since Norwich away. Oh, it's today, isn't it? Oh, that is... It makes you feel old, doesn't it? I didn't have a grey hair near me when that was the case. L game in Sutton or Eastleigh? As preferred, I'd have to say probably Sutton. I mean, they're flying this year anyway. They're up in second or third, and London's fairly local to us. Eastleigh has had its problems on and off the pitch over recent years. I mean, there was a funny bit in our interview with Gary McSheffrey about he went there when they were trying the big spending to get into the Football League. It's hilarious. Genuinely made me laugh. But as it is, it's going to be quite an important game, this, because Motherwell are directly behind us. And as we're going to play Celtic and Rangers again, we've got to try and make ground on Hamilton. Our only real chance is to beat the teams around us while Hamilton play others. And they're away to St Mirren on the same day. So that's going to be an interesting one for us. Thank you for all the extra views as well. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. It does make such a difference. We shouldn't be too long this evening, actually, with the football going on later. And we've only got the 4 games to get through before the international break. So I'd imagine we'll probably be done about an hour again. And with the no days off work recently, that will help catch up with the videos as well. And I will warn you, there's a couple of very big episodes coming up later this week across the video series as well. I think we're going to stick with the same 11 because, to be honest, we played quite well there. And against a weaker side, Byrne and Duffy, the two who did underperform, should be able to have a bit more of an impact. So I'm going to stick with it. Same 11, same 18. Hopefully a better outcome. That's the fingers crossed. You do never know, unfortunately, because it doesn't take a lot for these to go wrong. We just need to get a result of some sort. As it's a throw-in on the right, Stephen O'Donnell takes it straight away. Of course, an important player at Motherwell, formerly of Luton Town in years gone by. As O'Hara gets it in the middle again. They're still coming forward here. Polworth with a through ball. And O'Donnell couldn't quite get there. Loves attacking, doesn't like defending so much. And on this occasion, he couldn't do much about it. As Siegrist has got the ball in goal again. Long kick over the top. McHugh heads away. Apologies, I've got a very itchy nose for some reason. As O'Hara gets it wide to O'Donnell. Time on the ball again. It all looks a bit easy here for Motherwell. I'm a little bit worried about the ease at which they're coming forward. Seedorf again on the right-hand side. Into Maguire. Through ball to Stevenson. What is going on here? We're not even laying a glove on them. The possession's relentless. Long picks it up. Gets it wide again. Carroll delivers. Stevenson's there. Heads just over the bar. We'll keep an eye on it for a couple of minutes. But I think we might need to drop to balanced here. Because look, they're straight on it again. Carroll throws it into Long. And the problem is, we might have left it too late now. As Long goes down the left again to Polworth, to Stevenson. They've got so much time on the ball. They're making it look so easy. It's wide to O'Donnell on the right. Chance to cross. 3 or 4 in there. Duffy wins it back off him. It's still got in though. Finley heads away. Mengi gets up. Mitchell heads away. It's going nowhere. We can't get out of our own box. Mitchell will eventually bring it down. He goes short to O'Reilly. No one wants to get it clear. And O'Reilly eventually turns. Long ball over the top. Shankland loses out in the air. And they're straight forward again. It is all Motherwell here. Carroll gets it into Polworth. To Maguire. O'Hara. Maguire. Look how good it is. O'Donnell on the right-hand side. Cuts inside. Finds Stevenson. Finds Long. And there is the goal. Completely deserved. And an utterly appalling start for us. And it could have been 2 or 3 already. Ravenite Polworth. I got him for Dundee United in my save. Motherwell actually released him. Wow. Should we keep an eye on him? He's got a 3-year deal here. They know better in this one. Good player. What an appalling start though. I don't know where on earth that's come from. They're playing with 2 inside forwards or inverted wingers. And a pressing forward. Now I've never been able to make a pressing forward work in FM21. It's been one of the things I used to like using that I've not been able to this year. But it seems like Motherwell have got it to a T. As Siegrist goes long again, gives it away again. Oh, it's the direct passing's not been good. And if it's not good, our game plan falls apart. As it's long over the top. That one's better. Mark McNulty's in here. Can he score? Oh, it's delicious. Little dink over the keeper. And after not having a say in the game whatsoever, 35 minutes of being outclassed, one chance, one long ball over the top that works, and it's 1-1. First shot on target, job done. Now can we hold on? Because this would be a good result. If we can nick a winner, even better. But let's not get too excited. Half time, it's about level, to be honest. Probably don't want to get too advanced, too further forward, too positive, because that's what cost us earlier on, as we nearly concede from a set piece again. Siegrist in no man's land. No idea what he's doing. And with Jason Kerr joining in the summer, if we keep Mengi as well, for the first time in about 10 years, bar that 1 year at Dorking that was a disaster, I'm going to think about playing a back three, I don't think I've done it since before that. FM15 or 16, I had a year with Sunderland, whenever Kirchhoff was there, because he was in the holding role. As McNulty's in again, this time Carson saves. Good goalkeeping by the Motherwell number one. And it's a corner kick over on the right. Mallon will take an out swinger. And hopefully he can pick out one of our bodies. He doesn't. Hits the first man. Mengi gets it wide again. Mallon's in the box. Crosses towards McNulty. And it's over hit. He was offside anyway. It's all a bit of an utter disaster. Stuart, welcome along. Thank you for popping in. Do appreciate it. Loving the Bangor series. Can't wait to see how you do, what you do to build the nation. Now you're getting results in Europe. Absolutely. And that's the big next step where it really falls or succeeds. At Cliftonville, we sort of didn't really have the balance. Larne were big spending, but they didn't help us out much last year. So I'm hoping this year that we can put a bit of investment in. What the main aim really with the Build a Nation, hopefully, so say our Europa Conference, if we can go on a run, even if we can get through the group stages one more round, or if we can just get in the group stages 2 or 3 years in a row, my hope is then that will take the league up to a 2-star reputation. Now that has no other knock-on effect on the league itself, other than the player values go up based on the league reputation. So what that then means is that TNS, instead of selling their best players for $5,000, are selling their best players for $50,000 or $100,000. And as that gradually happens, they've then got the money to invest. They get better players. They can gradually increase their quality in Europe. Don't forget, the big thing this season is that Carmarthen got through 2 rounds and TNS around as well. So if that keeps happening too, the Welsh League, the coefficient and everything else will rise quickly. And if that happens, sky's the limit. We do know that there's a bit of frustration. TNS failed in the early years of the save. But I'm hoping that's over now. We've got one more sub to make. O'Reilly will be replaced by Ray. In fact, no, I'm going to bring Fuchs on for this one. Box-to-box midfielder, Mallon playmaker. Let's see if we can nick a winner, because it's been a very even game, this. But thank you for the kind words, Stuart. I do appreciate it. And thank you to all of those popping in the live stream as well. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. It does make a difference. Thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with me. I appreciate that too. As I think we're about to get held to another away draw. Though with the last minute of stoppage time, we have given the ball away from a throw-in. It was atrocious, really, from Matheson. O'Hara plays Carolyn. Back into midfield again, O'Hara. Time to switch it right, find Simple. And he's got time on the ball as well. Who's he going to go for? Polworth. The last thing we want to do is throw it away with the last kick. What I'd like to do is nick it and hoof it downfield for a winner. As Long cuts it inside to Stevenson. Back to McHugh. We can all see what's coming. It's a long highlight. It's going to lead to something. As O'Hara's got it again. Polworth, get it over with. Long shoots. Good save, Siegrist. Could have let that in at his near post. Had a body in the way. Got his arms to it. Strong hand as well to tip it wide. Just got to defend the corner and we should have the point in the bag as Polworth's going to deliver. Closes the gap on Hamilton as Siegrist saves. Devine had a free header. It wasn't good enough. But it is 1-1 in the end. We hang on for dear life. And as a result, we move on to 51 points. 1 behind Hamilton and a target of 3rd. So, they're asking us about facing intense pressure. I mean, Motherwell were good, but they didn't dominate the stats till the end. Hamilton have won their game. They nicked it. We're not won in 5 games. So we haven't. 4 draws and a defeat against Rangers. Look, Mitchell and McNulty offers both accepted. That's what we wanted to see. So let's get through the press conference. We're now 4 points behind Hamilton with 8 games to go for us, 7 for them. They nicked a St Mirren game late on. That's frustrating. And it doesn't get any easier for us because we're going to Celtic Park next. Hamilton, I mean, that's our game in hand. But Hamilton have got Rangers next week. So hopefully they don't get a result either. Tom, trip to Bangor. Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't know about the hiking, to be honest with you. I might be a little bit unfit for that these days. But certainly to Namporth to watch the football. Right, Matheson's loan has been extended. We've got an offer for the Davis one. I'm going to extend that a week so we can see what happens with Mitchell. And if that gets extended, then we'll cancel the Davis one. But away to Celtic, I think it's the game of the running I'm going to throw. We'll put the reserves out. We'll try and defend a bit more. And then hopefully we can beat Ayr comfortably. That's got to be the plan, because it backfires if you then don't beat Ayr. On the first season, we had the beating of Celtic, but it's just not worked out this year. We've been a much weaker side, a much less consistent side, and a much more fatigued side with the European football, unfortunately. And no 5 subs hasn't helped either. Right, Mengi's extended. That's a big one for next year, because we can think about back 3 now. Mengi, Finley and Kerr coming in the summer on a free. All big agents there. So it should make a difference. Let's have a little look. Oh, I've just noticed. Irish Premiership, 2nd season. Glenavon are top. How on earth has that happened? I've got to find out. Transfer history this year. They've not brought in a huge amount of talent, I wouldn't say. Last season, the same again. How on earth have they got themselves top? They weren't in Europe this year. They've drawn 5 games in a row. They haven't won in 7. But they're still clear up there. That's astonishing. We keep an eye on it, obviously, after last year. And it's absolutely brilliant to see that. Mark McNulty's coming in again. So we've kept both of them for another year. That does make a difference. And fingers crossed, we can find a way. If we don't finish 3rd, don't forget, we will get sacked at the end of this season. I don't know what jobs are up at the minute. Probably Millwall's the biggest one in England, Championship. If we want to stay here, St Johnstone, but they're about to lose their best player to Dundee United. Notts County could be the big one. Looks like they're on their way back to the EFL. They're 10 points clear of Boreham Wood with a game in hand. So we could find a new challenge if we do get sacked. But I'd rather it not come to that, because the idea was Dundee United to break the old firm monopoly. And as you can see this year, we're some way off that. So we've got warnings to close all of their stars down. We are going to go and make a lot of changes, because the whole team's got a heavy match load. So bar the keeper, we'll probably change the whole 11. We have got Fuchs right back. Pearson will be alongside Nielsen. Left back will be Leif Davis. In midfield, we're going to go for Bolton, Sporrell as the wingers. More defensive-minded anyway. And then Ray alongside Mockery. And then up front, we are going to have... I think we'll go for Malcolm and Morris. They seem to be the best combo. Morris, I'm not sure what he's better at naturally. Or Malcolm, sorry. It seems in terms of the advance forward, he suits that one better. So I'm going to let Malcolm be the advance forward. Morris the poacher. Mockery still improving in that deep line role. Can play out on the left if we need him, but still developing, still improving. Nielsen's a solid player. We'll have Fotheringham on the bench. He's still improving too. Not quite getting there as quickly as the others. So he's going to be sub 6. Chalmers is on there too. And then it's just about which ones we get in the squad and which ones we leave out. So I think Shankland we're going to put in. I think in terms of central midfielders, it's one of Mallon and O'Reilly. Mallon keeps staying on the 90. O'Reilly keeps coming off. So we'll take O'Reilly in today. Byrne joined in January. He can be there. And then 2 of the loanies, Mengi and Mitchell. That's the 11. That's the 18. A reserve side against Celtic. Can we defend for a point? That's the big question. Thank you to everyone popping in as well. Lovely to see the number of viewers creeping up. Come and get involved in the chat down below. It's Southampton Arsenal again tonight, Tom. Same as Saturday, isn't it? We're underdogs. We're not going to try and get anything special out of this team. We just want to try and get a point. I mean, it's very unlikely, and we accept that. As Saravia's got to throw on the right-hand side for them. Into Dembele. The youngster developing well. Back to Henderson. Out to the right back again. Cuts it to the edge. Henderson shoots. Good save, Segrist. A minute gone. It's going to be a long night. I can promise you that. As Segrist has got a long kick over the top. Can we get on the end of it? Morris can't get there. A lot of change in this Celtic team already. Christie gets it wide to Forrest. Probably most of that back seven's changed, and Siegrist has let in the Forest strike. Not even 2 minutes on the clock. We're already behind. And that's not the start we needed, is it? Not what we were looking for at all. So already we're in damage limitation mode with just 6 on the clock. And fingers crossed that will stay the case. As Ricker gets the ball out wide, goes into Griffiths, finds Christie. Picks it up to Forrest. Time again to find Bitton. And there's another familiar name, but he switches it wide to the right back. Henderson to Dembele. I mean, this Celtic side, I know they're not top of the league. They look great here. Forrest gets it wide. I don't know if it's just because we're poor with our backups. Ricker on the left-hand side. Crosses in. Henderson's there. This could be 5, 6, 7 or 8, quite frankly. I'm a little bit concerned about tonight. This has to be worth it. And the only way it is if we beat Ayr at the weekend. As Forrest wins it off Bolton again. What's Matty Pearson doing there? I don't know. He's been skinned. Griffiths in. 2-0. Keeper beaten at the near post. It's not the fact that we're losing the game. It's not the fact we're getting outplayed. It's the fact that some of these boys aren't fit. The way they're losing the ball's embarrassing. And Pearson ran away from his man there. I'm not quite sure how to defend that. And that's where we end up having a problem, I'm afraid. So fingers crossed there won't be too many more. Thank you for the extra thumbs up as well. It does make a difference. If you haven't yet, please do chuck one on it. Fingers crossed there's football to come. There's some good news round the corner, I hope too. As the ball goes long again, Dembele flicks on. And Nielsen, to be fair, has probably looked the better of the 2 centre-halves so far. So I'm not going to get too upset with him as the youngster. It's more Pearson that's been a problem. As Griffiths gets in again, how that's not gone in, I don't know. But Matty Pearson is getting the run around here. A brilliant prospect or a brilliant character for us at Luton Town in real life. But my word, after a good season last year, he has been taken to the cleaners. As Forrest gets it on the right-hand side. Beats his man, gets towards the byline. Chance to cross, beats his man again. Into the front post, Nielsen heads away. That's Finn Malcolm, the advance forward, all the way back down the left wing there. As Bitton gets it into Christie. Out to Ricker, who's got time again. They are skinning us out there. Christie gets it. Chance to deliver. Then Bele beaten to it by Davis. We're only 15 minutes in. It feels like we've watched the whole game. It is all Celtic. 7 shots to none. 2/3 of the possession. It's been a frightening few minutes. And I don't really know how we cope with it, to be honest, moving forward. It does beg a few questions as we head in towards the end of the season. Having to face these guys and Rangers again, I don't know that we're going to be able to compete. And how are we going to make up 4 points on Hamilton? This was our game in hand. It's essentially gone. We have to beat Hamilton. We have to hope they lose against all the big boys. And we have to hope that we manage to pick up 1 or 2 surprises. Luke Bolton's injured. He's going to be coming off. I'm going to bring Fotheringham on. We might as well benefit the youngsters in this game because it's certainly not going to be a positive outcome. The goal difference I'm not worried about because we're 19 ahead of Hamilton on that front. So even if we lose 6 or 7 here, it's not going to make a huge difference. As Saravia gets the ball, and it might well become that, as that one rattles the post and goes across the line. We managed to survive it again. 5 to the break, still 2-0. Plenty of warnings to close people down. But I don't think they're going to make much of a difference. Half time, we have had 1 shot on target now. But Celtic lead comfortably 2-0. And what we could do to be playing real life Celtic rather than the one in this save. Frimpong's on, and early on, he's taking a free kick here. In short to Forrest. Beaten to it by Mockery. Still comes out with a ball somehow. Falls for Dembele. Lovely strike. Absolutely lovely. Second minute of both halves we've conceded. What can you say? What can you say about playing a much better side than yours? Thank you to everyone coming in. Do appreciate it. Thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with me. As I said a bit earlier on, I'll apologise in advance for any all over the place lines and commentary. For the second Tuesday in a row, I haven't had my day off, so I've been working flat, and as a result, I'm all over the place verbally. As Frimpong picks it up, 30 yards out. He's got time on the ball, and that one's just wide. I don't see how we don't lose this by 6 or 7. Especially as the legs get tired as well. Mockery's rating's dipped into the 5s. Fuchs would naturally go into the middle. He's on a yellow card. So I don't really know what to go with. As Henderson gives it away to Fotheringham. He then gives it away to Bitton. Out to Forrest on the left. And now Fotheringham's out of position. Forrest beats his man. Back to Frimpong. To Henderson. It is just men v boys. It's a class above. And ironically, they've probably got the younger side still. As it comes back into Bitton. Frimpong. They're just giving us the runaround. They're making it look so easy. Then Bellet forces a great save. Mokri's going to come off because he's had a shocker. I think we're going to bring O'Reilly on in there. We have to do it as we get towards the hour mark. Hopefully, the end is in sight. If we can avoid conceding another one or two, I'll be quite happy with the night's work. What I'm going to do, as it looks like Davis won't be staying next year, and he's anxious, we'll drop Sporrell to left back and we'll put Chalmers left wing. Just to make sure we don't use up any tired legs like Tyrick Mitchell. That's the last thing we want to do on a night like this. But I'm hoping long term there's some positives to come. Celtic lead 3-0. And to be honest, I'll take that at the moment. I thought it was going to be more. It's a very new look Celtic side. There's a lot of quality in it. And they keep the ball tremendously well. As the throw-in's intercepted, O'Reilly finds Chalmers. Can we at least nick one on a break? Finn Malcolm's got in ahead of his man. He's got one man to beat. He's into the box. Beats him brilliantly. And that is a positive sign for the future. Finn Malcolm with a wonderful solo goal. It's going to make no difference in the grand scheme of this game. But my word, what a moment for the youngster. We've seen in the Build a Nation series, or in fact the head coach, isn't it? He's become a superstar at Dundee United. Here he's not really showing those attributes. But he still plays well when he's on the pitch. So we're going to tell the lads we're quite happy with that. A 3-1 defeat for our reserves we'd have certainly taken at the start of the night. What we've got to do now is make sure it wasn't in vain. Because we've got a big game at the weekend. We're getting criticised. I mean, why? Why are we getting criticised for losing to Celtic? I mean, the dynamics are going to be good still. But we've got a big game. If we beat Ayr at home, everyone's happy again. So let's make sure we get the positive result. It'll be the final game of the afternoon. It's going to be an important one. And then we've just got the one game before the mid-season split. Or I say the near end of season split, isn't it? Shankland left out for Scotland again. Probably a little bit harsh this time. Because he has been brilliant in the last month or two. Although, he's not scored in the last 3. So we've got to bear that in mind as well. So let us know. Hopefully we'll be able to bounce back for Ayr. It should be an important one for us. I'm just hoping that we can nick the result. I don't really care how we play. I don't care how many chances we concede. We just have to get 3 points. And don't forget, Hamilton are playing Rangers. So we'd hope they're going to lose their game. And if that's the case, the gap's back down to 1. And with Hamilton in the top 6, the mid-season split to come, it's back in our hands. We have got to worry a little bit about Motherwell because they're closing the gap slightly. 6 points behind now, but an extra game played. Mokri's training well, but didn't play well when he came onto the pitch. So there's a few things we've got to discover here. Hopefully there's some positives anyway. We'll wait and see if there is. And thank you all for popping in as always. Let's have a look at the last game of the week. Ayr United are the opponents. There's some big players getting released. I mean, we could go and scout them, but there's not a huge amount of quality there. So it's probably not worth us using our budget on it. As we face Ayr at home in the final game of this evening's live stream. And I'm going to go and make the tactical changes because it basically should be a whole new 11. And let us know what you think, of course. So, time to pick the team. Matt O'Reilly's in. He's got a heavy match load because he came off the bench last time, of course. So that's something we've got to be a little bit cautious of. In terms of the bench, I'm going to go for experience again. That's something that I've never relented on. Particularly in these types of games. The one that's missing out is Byrne, so we can bring Chalmers back on for him. Oh, it's not Byrne, is it? Sorry, it's Bolton that's missing out. The back four's brilliant. The goalkeeper's brilliant. Could be a back 5 next year with Kurt. But moving forward in the team, bar Shankland and McNulty's goals, it's been a pretty average spell. I can't remember the last time McNulty scored before that game. Before Motherwell, he went a fair few without, I think. Oh, only 3. Livingston he scored, just didn't play well. So that's the lineup. We're going to stick with O'Reilly, I think. Or do we bring Fuchs in? For this game, it's at home. We're playing a side we'd expect to beat. Let's get Fuchs in central midfield. And that's the only change from our regular first 11. The 2 Irish wingers back in, a big opportunity. And the final game of the evening. Let's see how we get on. Thank you to everyone joining me this evening as well. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. It does make such a difference. I appreciate you all making the chat active again today. And hopefully, there's big news to come. Because we've got to end our bad run of results. 7 without a win. They lost 4-0 to Rangers, so they're fragile. They're going to be in a right state. And we've got everyone fresh again. A 4-2-3-1, but Mallon's got an early free kick. In towards Mengi. Must be a pen, is it? No! Back to Mallon, who hits the post. Brilliant effort on the volley. It was almost sort of Di Canio style. Going the other way, of course, and just smash the outside of the post. Brilliant first chance. Goes begging. And with 15 gone, we've had loads of shots and nothing on target. But then Ayr are catching up on that front as well, so I don't want to get too excited. We're just going to demand a bit more because we're not seeing a huge amount just yet. Double the amount of shots, but nothing on target and no real great chance. As Byrne gets the ball on the right, loses out to Murdoch. Long kick forward, but it's straight to Matheson. He gets it inside to Stevie Mallon, out to Byrne again. Chance to take on the fullback, skins him. Gets to the byline, 3 in the middle, back to Fuchs, into Shanklin, back to Mallon. Stevie Mallon puts it in, Shanklin the provider. And that is a beautifully worked goal. Exactly what you want in a 4-4-2. Men in the box, brilliant width. And Hamilton losing at home to Rangers, almost the same minute that happens. Absolutely fantastic. Dylan Tuchel announced, yeah, no real surprise, is it? It was always going to happen, it was just a matter of when. I'm intrigued to see how long he lasts. If it's more than 12 months, I'll be surprised. As Zanata gets the ball again. Picks it up. Drifts right. He goes the whole length here. No one's really pressured him. And if he gets the cross in here, this could be dangerous. He does just that. And Walsh scores. Zanata has just been allowed to carry the ball from left back to the right byline. He has put the ball in and it has been headed in by Walsh. That is so easy. We know Ayr have got Luca Cannell, a player that's a star in our Bangor save now. But how's that happened? Zanata's playing off the left. He's not that good. He should not be carrying the ball the whole way. He is an international player though. Jack Byrne's got a tight calf. We'll keep an eye on that. But we can't afford to drop points here. We really can't. He's got a slight knock, Byrne, so let's go and get a substitution on. I think it'll have to be Sporrell, and then we'll swap the Duffy to the left. To the right, sorry. As it falls for Byrne on the right wing again. Gets the ball in. Duffy loses out in the air. McGowan heads it away. Goes downfield towards Dennis. Of course, Watson can't play against us. The only games he's missed all year. And Walsh picks it up in the centre circle. It's bad enough we're drawing this. If we lose it... Oh, nearly in. Nearly in. 25 minutes to go. Fuchs is coming off. That hasn't worked a great deal well. O'Reilly on for him. Duffy to the right. Sporrell to the left. One more change to go. McNulty might have to be the man. But otherwise, this could be a bad point dropped. Tuchel didn't leave Ravenite. Tuchel didn't leave PSG because of transfer going his head. Now he's at Chelsea. Exactly that. The funny thing is that money talks. And you can't blame people. Because if we were offered millions of pounds to go to a job we knew we'd be sacked from in a year, we'd still probably take it. I'm going to replace McNulty with Morris. It is the last throw of the dice. I don't know if it's the right one. I think we're going to have to go attacking. I think we're going to have to encourage them. But most of them, they look happy. They're just not producing anything. We've dominated the match. We've conceded the only shot on target against us. And again, we've been fairly toothless. Murdoch's beaten to it though. Sporrell brings it away. It's a 3-on-2. It's the last minute. We've got to do something. Carlton Morris at the ready. Shankland's in the middle. Back to Sporrell. Into Shankland. There's the goal. It's offside. Oh, I thought that was the moment. Lawrence Shankland with a brilliant finish. It must have been so close. It must have been so close. It's the one that's cost us. And look at Air, time wasting away. Slicker's in goal. We had him as third choice at Burnley in last year's live stream series, part of the head coach as well, as Chalmers gets it on the left-hand side. It looks like Air are going to hold out here. And with one shot on target, they've managed to nab the point. And they might even go for better yet, because they've still got a chance to come forward here. And it would be the greatest smash and grab ever if they won this. As Ross gets it out towards Chalmers on the left. My word, don't you do it. Gives it away to Matheson, to Duffy. Get it downfield. This is the chance. Morris can't get up. O'Reilly's there. Over the top again, please. He's coming through the middle. The whistle's going to go, is it? O'Reilly runs. The whistle does go. That might be the one that costs us third place and ultimately costs us our job at the end of the year. We've got to qualify for the Europa League. And if we don't finish third, we don't do that. And I think that's the nail in the coffin. 3 points behind. But that is the last game of the season against a side in the bottom half, I think. I'm not sure if Aberdeen have crept back up yet. So, in fact, no, Aberdeen will be that next week. But that is not the end we were hoping for. We're 1 point closer, 3 behind Hamilton. But with 6 to play and 2 of those against Celtic and Rangers, I don't know. Grassroots coach, good evening. Thank you for popping in. I really don't rate Tuchel at Dortmund. He only won a German Cup. With Aubameyang, Royce, etc. is a bit underwhelming. I mean, I would say at Dortmund, he was there when Bayern had a big rebuild. But I completely agree earlier on with the Lampard youth development. He should have been given time, or he shouldn't have been appointed, one of the two. I think it was just to keep people happy last year in a transfer ban now. So we've got 1 game to go until the split. There's a couple of things I've been asked to check. So Wrexham, we're in the National League North. Second, 8 points behind, but with a game in hand. And that game's on Tuesday night. We've got a big international break to come. We've got Aberdeen then. And then I guess what we'll be back for on Sunday is the final 5 games of the season. We are going to be facing Celtic, Rangers, Hamilton, Motherwell. And it looks like Livingston as well. And we have to finish third, or we're going to get the sack. You can only assume if we fail in our expectation that will happen. My question is, do I make the decision to try and get a job now with a Hull, a Middlesbrough, a Millwall, a St Johnstone even? I don't know. Because this could be a very big rebuild if we end up getting sacked. Because we've still got a tiny reputation, don't forget. If we go and have a look at the profile, just notice George Moncur, the Luton man, is at Aberdeen in this save. So we've only got a 1-star reputation. We've started no badges. We've got nothing else really going on there. Plenty of people we're popular with. We've only got a contract for 2 months as well. So it's not like they'll have to pay us off. It could end up being an absolute disaster. If we go and have a look at the club vision, I just want to see how they're ranking us at the minute. Very average C. Disappointed with the draws against lower reputation sides in Ayr, Livingston and St Johnstone. We didn't reach the semi-final of the Cup, and so far we're on course to fail in Europe. Fail in reaching Europa League. I don't know if you can get away with that, can you? Not when your contract's up. Ravenite, look on the bright side. You have Celtic and Rangers to play, but so do Hamilton. Absolutely. My worry is playing Hamilton, quite frankly. Nagelsmann would be better for Chelsea. He's got a brain. He'd never go there. No way Nagelsmann goes to Chelsea. If he comes to England, it's to manage a side that will give him time. He'll go to let's say a Liverpool or probably a Tottenham, someone like that. Grassroots coach Timo Werner, Kai Havertz haven't exactly won titles galore. Well, that's the thing. Timo Werner, I mean, it's a confidence thing with him. Havertz, there's a lot of rumours around that COVID's affected him badly, and you can't rule that out. I mean, look at St Maximan at Newcastle, for example. He's barely been able to play since, so you have to bear that into mind, because there's a lot of players who that will affect differently. But, as I said earlier on, and you're absolutely spot on with it, you've got a brilliant team of very young players from last year, just 1 or 2 dotted bits of experience. You've signed 6 or 7 superstars from abroad. You can't expect them to all gel in the first season. I always go back to that winter where United signed Vidic and Evra. And that half a season, they didn't play a huge amount. They were awful. And I mean awful. Go and watch back some of the games. The next season, and for the 5 years afterwards, absolutely sublime. And that's what you have to bear in mind. The same happened with us with Sluga at Luton. We don't often sign players from abroad, but the same happened there. Till about the end of January, we thought, what on earth's gone on? He doesn't even look like a Sunday League keeper. And now, he's become one of our best signings ever. And we're definitely going to make a profit on him. So you've got to give these people time, or you've got to accept that you're not going to succeed quickly, or you're not going to bring youth players through. I mean, the fact that they let people like Barkley go, Jorginho dropped off the face of the earth after a very good start to the season. There's a lot of little things there that are just concerning behind the scenes. And I do wonder in the latter stages how much of a say Frank had. And as a result, how responsible can you hold him? But what we will do as we polish off here, Timo Werner is the German Ciro Immobile. Loves space, but is rubbish when the opposition play deep. He's been very good at Lazio, hasn't he? He's been excellent. But then Lucas Leiva was as well in his mid-30s. Dylan, West Ham doing well, fair enough. Thank you to everyone joining along this evening. We are just about done here. We've got Aberdeen off camera, then the big 5 games after the split next time out. That on Sunday morning at 10:30. We've got to end a 7-game winless run, so I think we might have a friendly in the international break, get a few of the youngsters in, and try and get a little bit of confidence into the legs. So a slightly shorter one due to the working day, of course. Hopefully it's not been too bad for you. The scouting department at Chelsea asked a lot of questions on. Absolutely. It was the same under Mourinho, wasn't it? He did well for the first couple of years. Then he had the summer where they signed, like, they're good players. Tal Ben Haim, Steve Sidwell, the likes of them. But they were never going to change a Premier League winning side while other teams were improving. Jeremy Doku signed for Rennes. Good signing that. It's going to be a good player. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. So thank you for coming along this evening. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. It does make such a difference. Just a couple away from double figures now. And thank you all for your support, your chat down in the comments as always. I know Tuesday night's often harder than the Sunday ones. But of course, the next one will be Sunday morning. It will be the end of Season 2. It'll be a massive episode. And hopefully, we can get over the line for 3rd. If not, you know what next Tuesday will be? It will be the job hunt. We might even leave that for a Sunday special. But thank you for watching as always. Thank you for coming along. And I'll see you on Sunday at 10:30. Loads of big videos in the meantime. Thanks for watching.